Okay, well, I'm live. And I told Hambone I would do this because as he was going through his own craziness, I bought this. And what a goddamn freaking pain in the ass it was to do this. We know the dealer. He's a guy, just a local guy, right? And this was his daughter's car. And I had gone down there for some service, And I said to him, "We're looking for a commuter car for my old man to go back and forth to his job, which is a 70-mile round trip." So this thing was sitting there, and I knew that the guy had it because it was his daughter's vehicle. Again, I said that again. So here I go, I'm like making this deal. I said, all right, I'll buy this thing because maybe it would, I don't know. He said it would be like $10 a week for my husband to drive back and forth to the job. And, okay, so he's got it. I finally get the money, which was another whole freaking mess, right? To get that together, just to buy this thing, which wasn't that expensive. It's a 2006, all right? So I get it, make the deal. And then he's got to fix stuff, okay? So he makes the deal with me first. I mean, this whole freaking thing took over a month to get done, to just buy the car, and I think my husband put another 5,000 miles on his truck. But anyway, look how pretty it is where I am. So we get the car, and the first day, get it home. Doug, he drives it home, right? And then puts it in the driveway, comes in the house, and then I go outside. I'm like looking at it, and he says, "It won't start again." I tried to start it again. I'm thinking, holy crap, paranoia ensues, but I'm not as paranoid as Hambone. And no, as far as all this shit goes, I mean, yeah, I spent money on it, but we had to get it. A guy comes back. Long story short, it has to get flatbedded back to the guy. I look in the trunk. So the trunk, we open the trunk, right? And I'm not going to do it right now. And I don't even know what these mean. I have to cover them up. So we open the trunk, and there's freaking water in the wheel well, and there's water where the battery is. So for God's sakes, I said, "Listen, dude, I just paid you for this thing. Now it's in my name. I insured it, and there's water in the freaking battery, and it didn't work when we got home." I mean, my husband got home. I was like, holy shit. My paranoia level was high because I thought, that's all the money I have. And now I have to get a stinking water system in the house. So he flatbedded it back, got a battery in it, and now it's trying to figure out how to use the thing because it's different, It's a Prius, but when you turn this car on, you have to put your foot on the brake and you got to touch this thing, but that's it. You don't do it. You just go boop, and then it takes like 30 seconds, and then it starts. It takes 30 seconds. But you got to listen for those other, you got to listen for the motor, right? Okay, so my husband is very impatient. He doesn't understand, I guess, or was pissed off. He's like yelling at me. He finally, after we got the battery in, after over a month and a half of waiting for all this shit to get done, he took it to work last night. Yay! But he called me when he got there and he asked me how to shut it off. Well, I'm sorry, I keep doing that. How to shut it off. I don't even know if anybody's with me. But I'm going to segue from us being clueless about this vehicle and one thing I have to say about it, though, when you look at the energy consumption as you're driving, it's pretty cool because it does show you. It says 99 miles a gallon, or it'll go to 30 miles a gallon. It's electronic for a 2006 with 265,000 miles on it. So, just got to go. It's got to go 70 miles a day. That's it. And I can't sit inside because I want to talk about something. But my back is killing me, and sitting down and all that. So I pulled over here because actually I just came back from the guy I bought this freaking Prius from because the defroster wasn't working. So he had to show me where he changed the cabin filter and all this crap. I mean, it's like always something. But I pulled over because look, I've got 5 bars. I wasn't going to do this live. I was just going to do this and show the car. But I really wanted to get serious about something yesterday. We talk about collapse. We talk about the industrial civilization collapsing. We talk about deindustrialization being the way to actually maybe salvage anything on this planet, even with that IPCC report of, the millions of species we're losing, though all of us knew this anyway without that report. But it's been put together, and I don't know who might listen to it. But what struck me was, and we talk about making changes, we talk about revolting, we talk about different kinds of waking up, XR, waking up the government. But you know what? I'm going to boil it right down to this little thing yesterday. I am a consumer, and because of what I do with you guys and do this, technology is something that I have or have to, keep up with or whatever. Okay. So I went to the AT&T store and I upgraded a phone, which I really didn't want to, but because my husband smashed his up, which is like his 4th phone, and I just said, fuck this. I'm giving you my old phone and I'm just going to get another phone because I live stream on it anyway, or I do something on it anyway, and I need a good phone because I'm always traveling for doctor's appointments and things like that. So I get in the store, and you walk into the AT&T store, and it's all walls of electronic phones and everything that needs this to work, okay, and cases and it's just like you look at that and that that's not sustainable, right? Forever. So I was talking to the young lady who was helping me, and I don't keep my mouth shut. I fit in a conversation about climate change. I fit in a conversation about the environment. I do it however and whenever. Forgive me, okay. I do it however and whenever I can. I don't care, all right? So I talked to this gal yesterday, and I was telling her about, the internet and what I do, and I had my neck brace on because yesterday was a traveling day and I was dying. Hey, CB joined me, but I was hurting, so I didn't take it off when I went in there. I don't always wear it because I need to get strength in my neck, even though it's just killing me. But anyway, so I started saying, well, I have this little thing I do as a hobby, and we got on climate change for some reason, probably something I guided her to. And I think it started because she was talking about real estate and looking for a house, and she was young. And then she was shaking her head because she understood things. And I said, well, a lot of the problem with other people understanding things is that, you don't know what's going on outside your own backyard. This little girl, maybe she's, younger than my daughter even. Hi, Chris. Hey, people are joining me. She was younger than my daughter, I'm sure. And she didn't know that there was 2 cyclones in a row in Mozambique. She didn't know about the cyclone in India. Hell, this poor little gal didn't even really realize about the flooding in our own breadbasket in the United States. And as I looked around to her and I said, you know, to solve or change or address these issues, hun, this all's going to have to go away, you know. She looked at me and she started shaking her head. I mean, you know, this chick's about 28 years old. And that's, what legacy are we leaving them? You know, we're leaving them. Yeah, Chris says our media sucks. That's why we are needed. And I do it off media. I mean, I got through to this girl and I told her where to go to look. And I told her, hey, the little website thing or Facebook that is, you know, my hobby Facebook is scary. And it's scary, but because people can only take it in measured doses because of the stuff that the editors put on, it's scary. But you have to be able to understand what's going on in this world to make a change, right? Yeah. Look at that thing. That's why I'm live streaming. Because I saw that and I pulled off on the way home from going to the mechanic. So anyway, so to make a long story short, XR and all the organizations that, God, I don't know how to hold this without my stick thing. All the organizations that want to have change and want to make change, they're not going to make change because of that lovely little gal, and I have nothing against her, but that lovely little gal in the AT&T store who was absolutely clueless, but absolutely shook her head and was receptive, but didn't get it. And there are people to reach, you know, in every country. How do you reach somebody in China? How does this political paradigm globally allow for this kind of radical change that we are calling for? How? How do you reach someone that lives in the middle of the Congo, even though they have a very small carbon footprint? How do you reach them? How does this really happen? Well, we're going to talk about it financially. We're going to talk about this. There's a conversation brewing about it. But are there enough people to even understand? I mean, I could never see talking to my brother, who is in the Matrix, and saying to him, financially, we've got to collapse economies because if we don't, we're going to be extinct faster than, you know it, right? My brother thinks I'm a nut if I would, I mean, and I've said that. That's not how I approach most people, like that young lady. I didn't approach it in that way, but I also dug for information because I need to know what people know or thinking. And then when I drop something on them and I see that, it's like a stare at me. And then I said to her, did you see any of that on television? And of course she said, oh no. So there we are. Hi, Greg. Yeah, I'm live because I actually started off showing the new acquisition of my family to cart my husband's ass to work and back. That was a 2006 Prius that had oh my God, just getting this thing. And I'm not even sure it's even gonna be, I just don't want him to break down in the middle of the night. The thing has 265,000 miles on it. But Toyotas are pretty good. Plus I stopped here because of the big tower over there that I said, oh shit, I could get a great live stream going here while I get fried from the whatever the frig is coming out of that. But I digress because really my main thing was to talk about yesterday being in the AT&T store. And, I am a consumer, like I said. Hey, I guess I'm using it until I'm not. If I didn't do this and I didn't fall into this because I have no life, and actually it's okay. I'm happy. I wake up every morning. I wake up, you know, and we've got each other like Chris and Veg and Paul were talking about community, and we certainly are becoming a bigger community and a better community, you know, more a community that more folks can join. So I'm going to leave you because it's been 15 minutes, and I want you to think about that. I want you to think about how can we actually come out of this matrix of capitalism and consumerism when the clueless outnumber us by the millions. Peace.